Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Driven Wild. Today we are talking about I almost got scammed on Uber Eats again. Avoid this trap. So not too long ago, I did get scammed on Uber Eats. And I guess you could call this another scam that actually did happen, but not almost happened because it kind of did. But that's not the point. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I made a video talking about the last scam that I experienced in the description. But this actually happened a couple weeks before the last one. And honestly, I feel it's important to talk about it. Because the reason why I was partially mad at the last experience I had was because of the experience before that. So with that said, I want to go over everything that happened during the delivery, how Uber responded to it then in comparison to the one former, how I will be protecting myself from these particular type of people and this particular scam in the future, and everything in between. But before we do that, I do want to go over a disclaimer. The content of this video does not contain and is never intended to be legal, business, financial, tax, or health advice of any kind. This video is for entertainment purposes only. It is advised that you conduct your own research and consult with qualified professionals before applying anything you find online. I also want to be clear that what I'm about to talk about can be considered market dependent, and what applies to me in my market may not apply to you. So with that said, let's get started with this particular story. So I was picking up an order for Uber Eats, like usual, from a place around here called the Taco Joint. It's a nice local place. I like their food, honestly. I really think they're good people too, except for some of the staff, because they implemented a policy recently that they are expecting drivers to confirm the order before they even received it. Like, they're trying to make sure that they're protected on their end by violating the contract in which they are trying to protect themselves from. I know, it's crazy. Which I've already made a point about it to the owner, and they're like, all right, just do us a favor. Make sure you confirm it on our end when we hand you the completed order, because we had a lot of issues with stealing drivers. Fine. If you want to hand me the order and then see that I've confirmed it, that's fine. In fact, what I usually like to do is I like to go, here, you want to be sure? There's no greater level of certainty than handing it to them and letting them confirm it themselves. And anytime they're like, no, I don't want to do it myself, I already found out everything I need to know. They're not doing that to protect themselves. They're doing it to control drivers. Because there's no level of certainty that's greater than somebody literally handing their private device to swipe that they confirm the order. Right? Because there's no level of certainty greater than that. You did it yourself. If you got a problem with doing it on my end, it's not about security, it's about control. That is my opinion on the subject. But this has never really been an issue for me because they're really on their stuff most of the time. But this is the time where it got bad. It's never a problem until it is, right? So this time when I get there, the manager isn't there, which surprising how when leadership is not there is when everything goes to crap. Anyway, I tell them that I'm picking up for so-and-so, and she tells me, here you go. Please just confirm the order before you leave. And I do my whole routine to protect myself, because if they're gonna claim to protect themselves, I gotta protect myself. Is this everything in the order? Yes. Are you sure? Yes. Okay, I'm gonna confirm the order, and I literally show it to her as I'm confirming the order, right? And then she sees on my screen that there are 5 items associated with this order. She's like, wait, 5 items? At this point, I'm simmering. Can I see the items? And I open the items page as I show her, and now I'm steaming. Because at this point, I've already confirmed the order myself. I've fulfilled what they expected of me. And then they follow up with this. Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot one of the items. I can't let you leave until it's done. Are you kidding me? You expected me to confirm that I received the order and you didn't even finish it. That's how we get account notices on our account. That's how people get deactivated. And now at this point, I'm fuming. So at this point, I'm not even willing to conversate with her about it or trying to make some deal because, quite honestly, anybody with that kind of poor follow through, I know is going to end up screwing me at the end of the day. I contacted Uber's support. I get them on the phone. While I am still in the building, I'm still in the same building, I explained to them how the restaurant violated the contract. And I was not interested in getting an account notice, so please mark on their end that I was not willing to get an account notice because they chose not to follow through on their end. The Uber support agent explained to me to just leave the order there, they're gonna cancel it on their end, and they're gonna make a notation that the restaurant was the one at fault, and assuring me that I wasn't gonna get an account notice. And sure enough, I didn't. I know, right? They did their job. But that's the point. That was so weird because in this instance, Uber support for the time that happened prior to the one last week did their job. And I didn't get an account notice. As the one last week, did the same thing. They did their job, and I still got the account notice. Where is the pattern here? Turns out Budsoda actually told me the actual difference here. And thank you, Budsoda, for leaving a comment on the subject. The difference really does depend on the agent you receive, because on their end, they can notate that I wasn't at fault, and they can note that I did everything I could on my end and stop the account notice from coming, and they can override that notice. But in this case, it didn't happen. There is another difference that I do want to notate as well. I didn't get the full pay for the order like I did the one prior. They just gave me the base pay for the order. They didn't give me some $3 incentive. They gave me the base pay for the order, and they gave the customer their tip back, which makes sense to me. But because of this, I need to start protecting myself from now on. And the two updates that I need to implement is updating my personal policies about leniency. I don't know why I keep doing this to myself. I basically need to be a heartless monster in order to be an independent contractor, because if I even step slightly into the realm of being a decent human being, I'm gonna get walked all over. And that's been proven from the restaurant side, that's been proven to the customer side, that's been proven to the platform side, and that's been proven on another level, but that's for another video. And I'm updating my no-go list. I'm not gonna not go to Taco Joint because it's really the one person that bugged me. Everybody else was fine. Like I said, I have no problem with the manager. I just have a problem with this specific staff member. So instead of me just putting them on the no-go list, that's it, I'm putting on an FUP. Some people call it the FUP, which is the FU price. Some people call it the jerk tax. Some people just say it's the cost of doing business with you specifically. If I'm gonna do business with Taco Joint, it's gotta be a very above average order. Mileage is very little, and the order is high in pay. I can't risk taking an order less than that. Otherwise, I put my account at risk, and there's no value in doing that. While I understand that this restaurant chose to do this because they wanted to maintain a certain level of integrity between the driver and the merchant, that requires a certain level of accountability on their end. Not only should they have done their due diligence to make sure they were not violating the contract between the driver, the merchant, and the platform, they should have also made the due diligence to make sure the orders were completed properly before setting some kind of expectation for the driver. So make sure that if you ever get asked those kind of questions and they're trying to play some game with you, one, you set boundaries for yourself and you enforce them like an iron wall. And that if there are certain factors that you want to enforce, you make sure you enforce them. I wanted to make sure that the full contents of the order were in the bag before they place that expectation upon me. Because at the end of the day, you need to protect your account from account notices and violations. You don't want to get those violations due to the inefficiencies of other people and other restaurant workers, because that's unfair to you and the customers involved. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. As always, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.